Deforestation is Brazil's main aggravated factor for the global climate crisis, a country that started the year with heavy rains and drought at the same time. In the Chronicle, our correspondent André Vieira and Sebastián Soto show us the relationship between climate events and the lack of environmental protection by the government of Bolsonaro.
Change is not an issue for the future. The last 7 years were the hottest in the Earth's history, according to the Global Meteorological Organization.
I have felt that it has been hotter. Periods that are generally not so hot have been warmer. Plus, the rains have been more constant.
In Brazil, 2020-22 began with heavy rains in different regions of the country, causing floods, landslides, and leaving dozens of people dead and thousands homeless and unsheltered. Heavy water in some regions, drought and strong heat waves in the state of Rio Grande do Sul. More than 300 southern cities have already declared an emergency situation. Extreme events occurring at the same time that Jair Bolsonaro's government fails to act to protect the environment. The Brazilian Amazon, for example, experienced its worst years of the decade in 2021. 10.3 thousand square kilometers of deforestation, an area equivalent to almost Jamaica's size. In the last few years, we have accompanied these natural catastrophes that have occurred, and this has been getting worse. At the same time, we have a government that does nothing about this.
The national government has an enormous responsibility. We see that forest fires, deforestation in the Amazon, and also the damage caused by agribusiness, which consumes pastures and water, have increased a lot.
According to the United Nations Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, deforestation is Brazil's main contributor to climate crisis. Every change that occurs in the soil releases carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, contributing to global warming. Meanwhile, under the government of Jair Bolsonaro, environmental agency fines on rural properties in Brazil decreased by 80%. Illegal mining advances by leaps and bounds, and the Amazon has been deforested by 76% since Bolsonaro became president, according to the Climate Observatory. The attitude of Bolsonaro's government was disastrous, especially for the Brazilian situation. The elimination of environmental policies, the dismantling of what we call relevant instruments and actors for control, monitoring and overseeing, which manifest then in a very dramatic way. In the state of Minas Gerais, the rain affected cities such as Brumadinho, where 3 years ago a waste dam belonging to the Vieira company collapsed, killing 272 people and destroying the environment. The social movements warned that the floods are the result of heavy rainfall and the lack of planning for the exploitation of minerals. The situation was worsened by the dynamics of land occupation. Here in Minas Gerais, where there are innumerable dams and mining sites that increase and magnify the damage caused by these situations of heavy rainfall. Meanwhile, Brazil is going against the environment, and extreme weather events are occurring more frequently. Scientists warn of the urgent need to stop deforestation, move towards the production of an agroforestry system, improve the monitoring of weather events, plan cities with basic sanitation, and assure popular participation in decision-making. Talk about prevention, the more articulated the society is, together with the civil defense and the different public management sector, the better results we will have in terms of environmental governance. During more than half of Jair Bolsonaro's government, the environmental area was led by Ricardo Salles, who claimed it was to take advantage of the pandemic and override environmental laws. He left the government under investigation for illegal timber trafficking. The ministry is now headed by Joaquim Leite, who maintains the legacy of anti-environmental policies.
André Vieira e Sebastián, Soto, TeleSUR, Brasil.